morning. When Marvel said, "Thank you, Shengo," it's like he had just done the dishes. And she was surprised. Let's say thank you. They didn't do it. Just think about it for a moment.
That's where we start to see. That's okay.
Each one of us began as a single cell, a mass of energy that had the potential to become. And for the next how many years, that same cell had the power to multiply, to increase, which means to me that the first law is go forth and multiply is our mode of operation. It is our gift of spirit. And each one of us is a potential that is unending. How long it takes? Forever. Wherever you are now is not the end. You are an unfolding being that came from that little speck of light energy, having that consciousness to know that its purpose is to live life abundantly. If we are not living life abundantly, it means that mentally we have given up on life. And we have began to focus on our suffering, the sickness that sometimes affect our bodies, the seeming difficulties that approach us mentally, and all the burdens of the emotion that stay with us throughout our lives. We are like the wind that blows wherever the law allows it to flow. The wind is adjustable. The wind can expand. It can narrow itself. It can become a gentle breeze, a gale that brightens across the face. It can sweep across the meadows without power. And it can become a hurricane, flowing with power and passion. Each one of us. I love the poem, and sometimes you don't see the wind, neither you nor I. But when the trees bow down their limbs, we know the wind is passing through. You are only alive when you are living. Living because that's what life is. Now think about yourself, beginning as that single cell, entering the phase of germination, joining with another cell. And thus began your history of multiplication. And you have been multiplying and increasing throughout your life. And sometimes the only place we do not increase and multiply is mentally. It is what we think of ourselves that keeps us where we are. It is what we hold true to living that causes us to live. Your role, as Jesus said in Matthew 5:48, is to be as perfect as that quality within that single cell is perfect. Perfection is an idea. It has no end. What seems to be perfect today becomes imperfect tomorrow. And I must seek out more perfection in order to keep moving. If I don't seek perfection, I will never become a professional. I have to keep moving mentally in order to keep my mental status as a living being consistent with my spiritual nature. It is the law of nature that says nature abhors a vacuum. Wherever there is a mental vacuum, we have frustration, we have ignorance, we have all sorts of negative things flowing into our minds. And these negative things cause us to sink to the barrel because we become empty spaces with nothing going on. The quest of mankind is not to survive, but to live. Surviving is not living. Living is to be engaged in becoming. Not to see things that happen to us as challenges to the point where we give up, but as opportunities to help us build ourselves mentally and emotionally so we could go forward, forgetting the things of the past and moving to that invisible place where we have never seen before, but going on knowing the best is yet to come. Many times we read in literature verses, and I remember when I was in high school, I did literature and I read Shakespeare just because I had to pass an exam. But as I got older, these words come back. There's a tide in the affairs of men which, taken at the flood, leads to fortune. Omitted, all the journeys of life is bound in shadow and in misery. Of such seas are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves or lose our venture. Is that powerful? That every moment provides us with an opportunity to take command. If we don't, they become just like shadows. Mental illusions that stay with us for the rest of our lives. When we seize the moment, carpe diem, when we seize the moment to become, something happens. As soon as you tell life, I'm available to live, opportunities come for you to begin to live a little more than you lived in the last moment. It is important to realize what Paul says. Now is the appointed time. Now is the day of your fulfillment or satisfaction. Now is the time to get up and begin to live. Now is the time to begin to enjoy life. You cannot enjoy life tomorrow because tomorrow is always a day ahead that never comes. We are to live now. We are supposed to seize every opportunity to become a little more, to do a little more, and not to react to others, but acting to go forward. Not to be retarded, but keeping ourselves progressively going forward. The sperm swims forward. That's in our DNA, to go forward. The sperm seeks to join with and create. That's our DNA. To join with every action, every moment, and create a little more in our lives. If we fail, we die. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. It never comes. Today is the day when we need to get up and move forward. Not to stay back and, like many people, wish we had done something yesterday. Yesterday is only a mental memory. It does not exist. Now. Now. Say now with me.
Now.
Now is the beginning of my life. Say it with me, come on. Now is the beginning of my life. This is the starting point.
This is the starting point.
And I have decided to live.
And I have decided to live.
I have faith.
I have faith.
The ability to project my mind into the great nothingness.
The ability to project my mind into the great
And see a place.
And see a place
That I alone can see.
that I alone can see.
And begin to travel to meet it.
And begin to travel to meet it.
Notwithstanding the situations that will occur.
The situations that will
They will come and go.
They will come and go.
My ability to proceed forward
My ability to proceed forward
is the most powerful gift that I have.
is the most powerful gift that I have.
We good?
Yes.
See, wherever we are only at a point in the journey to get up and travel. Wherever we are at the beginning of the journey. Well, you might ask, well, when would the journey end? Once you can think. Once you can think, even your old man shall have dreams. Once you can think, you can see beyond the seeming situations that you have that may be causing you pain. Once you can think means you can image, you can see, you can get up and go on. It doesn't matter what condition the body is in. Stephen Hawkins is trapped in his body, but still he can think and still is the greatest of modern day physicists. Hello. And look at you. You can move, you don't need no wheelchair. The same creative voice that speaks to him in his state is the same creative voice that speaks to you every moment. Get up, unless you die. And we go day to day dying and wishing that we had and hoping that we win the lotto. Is what they call it, lotto. What do you buy again? And we are waiting for that day when the windfall will come, not realizing every day, if you take a penny every day at the beginning of your life and add 1 to it, or multiply it by 2, so you have 1 today, you get 2 tomorrow, you get how much the next day? 4? 4, and then after 4, how much you get?
8. You multiply by 2, so 8.
So is it? Okay, then 8. What about you, Pat? After 8? Not 88, it's 16. So if we can take and just add to the little bit that we have, can you understand how powerful we will be? All it takes is one idea, I don't know, to create a nation of people. One idea. In God we trust. One idea. Hello now. What motivates you to live? What keeps you living? Your challenges? Do you wake up every morning and look for some reason not to live and to complain? Because some of us do that. If it's raining, too much water. If it is not raining, where is the water? When you react, it means you cannot create because you are waiting for something on the outside to stir you into action. But when you want to live, this life force in you never stops creating opportunity for you to live. So that the more you live is the more you want to live. And the more you live again is the more you want to live. So life becomes satisfying. And you don't ever complain about what's happening in your life. Because you realize that every human being that comes into your life, when you look at them from their spiritual position, that they are bringing you something to make you aware of yourself that you need to get out of or to flourish in. Think about it. Somebody passes and looks at you. What do you think about yourself? In that moment I say, I'm the greatest thing that God ever made. And somebody is using me as an example how to live. Do you say that? What are they looking at me for? Something is wrong with me. No. They are encouraging you to take a look at yourself to see how great God has made you. Can you look at it that way? See it as an opportunity for you to come into the reality that you are God's gift. You don't watch anything unless it impacts upon you. Let everything that you look at impact upon you in a positive light. And you will see the blessings that come. So that when you look at people, you send out the energy, oh my gosh, you're beautiful, you're happy, and you're splendid, or whatever it is. But you send yourself out to them. The importance of seeing every moment as an opportunity. Think about it. Every moment is a moment provided for you to fulfill your dream. But you can't fulfill a dream if you do not have a dream. You can't fulfill it. Because if you don't have a container, you can't go to the top and fill it. That means the water will be flowing past you all the time. But your consciousness cannot hold it. Your dream is your consciousness. How big is your dream will determine how big your capacity to grow. How do you see yourself? As limited? Insignificant? Or do you see yourself as a being that is constantly being reshaped, redefined, and refined in every moment according to the opportunities that present themselves to you? Do you see that? Maybe you can talk to me. Come on. How do you see yourself? Will determine how you look at things that happen in your life. Do you see yourself as a victim? Do they beat you up and abuse you? Or do you see them as great opportunities for you to overcome your own negative thoughts about yourself and come to see yourself as a victor? No. There is nothing outside of me that is greater than me. So nothing outside of me can harm me. Because I have the power to create around that which seems to affect me from the outside. That's your power. There was a story on CBC being told yesterday as I was driving about this little boy had an older brother. And the older brother had a friend. This little boy might have been about 6 and never got along with the older brother's friend. And one day, they planned for the little boy and they locked him in the crawl space. And they tied his hand with cloth and he couldn't get out. And you know what that little boy did? He never screamed. He looked around the crawl space and he found a crayon. And he used the crayon on a piece of paper and began drawing behind his back. He discovered something he would never have discovered had he not seized the opportunity to bring out that which is already or was already in him. How many times we are forced into corners, and instead of becoming still and allowing the Spirit of God to move through us, we start to fight and we cuss. And we still stay in the dungeon. King Bruce was locked in the dungeon. In the beginning, there was no hope. And one day a tiny spider came down, went back up. Came down, went back up. And he looked at the spider in his journey back and forth. And then suddenly, the spider went up and disappeared. And hope came into his mind. And he was able to deliver himself from the dungeon. Daniel was placed in the lion's den. And the lions roared. But instead of, what did I say?
Baby.
Yeah.
You know, if you're listening to what I'm saying, you ain't the baby competing with you. And you so up here ain't listening to me, you closer to me, you tell me.
I'm all ears. I was listening.
Anyhow. Was placed in the lion's den. But instead of being afraid of the lion, he began to become creative. How can I get out of this situation? He got out. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in a fiery furnace got out. These are opportunities that bring about something inside of us that says, this is not my last day on earth. This is the beginning of a new life. And allowing the creativity within you to find a way not only out, but into a new situation better than the one that you have. Opportunities come when it appears that people hate us and do evil things against us. Be strong, Jesus says. If you believe in the power within you, then you must believe that you can overcome everything. And every situation that you got into will provide another way for you to climb to that path closer to your dream. You see, sometimes we get focused on what is happening and not why it's happening. It is happening because you asked to be better. Hello now. Look at yourself going through school. You had to learn one-on-one. You had to learn to put A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I could only go up to there because of time. And learn to put these letters together and form words. And in my day, if you couldn't do it well, they put you on the bench to stand and they put a cap on your head and they say, "Dunce." They put you to kneel down in a corner. They keep you back after class and make you fight like 500 times. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. 500 times until you got it. Hello. Now if you do those things today, you will lose your teaching license. But we have expanded, we have grown out of those barbaric, but they were necessary for us at that time to learn. And once we got it, we took that and pushed ourselves forward. In life, every situation is a time to move. When I look at my life, finished high school, opportunities came for me. I became a filmmaking student. But before that, I became a teacher for about 6 months. Didn't like it. Wonder why. I became a media advisor in an educational situation. Then I became an administrator. And look at me right now. Back to where I started, a teacher. So life is a journey to the unexpected. But when you hearken to that moment that says, it's time to get up and move. See, as spiritual beings, we are actually nomads. Traveling through life. But a lot of us like to accumulate a lot of stuff that can't fit on our camels. So we get stuck by an oasis. And then all the dates run out. And the water gets low. That's the time when we think about moving. When it gets dangerously low on life. After struggling, that's when we want to move. Life was not meant to struggle. If you listen to Spirit, every moment right now, every situation, every relationship that you are in right now is commanding you to do something about yourself, not about the other person. Don't kill her. It's about you. You have asked to live. You asked to create a body, to live. That command to live is still the command that is causing you to travel and to experience all these situations that you come to help you live more. You have to make a decision every moment and every person that you meet. What am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this situation? What am I going to do with the effects of my relationship with this person? Am I going to beat up on them? Or am I going to take a look at myself and say, hey, some adjustment needs to be made. Do you like adjustment? Hello.
Yes.
You know, we are not like cars that came with recall notices. When we are recalled, we don't come back from the garage. Ain't no Canadian Tire with spare parts to go to and come back. Every moment is a life-altering moment. Every moment is to be used to correct your mental state and your emotional state so that you can drop the past and move forward to a new place.
Amen.
The question is, do you want to move? Because some of us would like to move. But we also like the trauma here. Because we believe that life is full of trauma. And the more trauma you have, is the more one day you will see that bright kingdom in the sky. And somebody will say, welcome because you have suffered so much. Come and find peace. If you want peace, you got to get your peace right now. No peace now, no peace up there. Because wherever you are, you take your consciousness with you. And whatever you attract here, you will attract forevermore. That's the interesting thing about life. You ever change your job and meet the same people with different clothing and a different face? You ever leave one relationship and find out the person that you have, the new one with, is the same person you left because the same thing is happening? Well, it's not outside. It's happening inside. A change needs to be made inside. An adjustment. Get a little screwdriver then or a wrench and tighten up something. But something is either too tight or too loose. Tinker a little bit. You notice every time you take a piece of machinery and you move it several times, you got to go get an adjustment. Sometimes we need to get an adjustment. And sometimes not only an adjustment, a transfusion. Because the program is not working. Because if the program is working, we should be happy. If you're not happy, hey, tighten up something. Pull up a slip or something. Do something. Stop blaming. Stop complaining. In the book, Evan says that there are some challenges as to why we don't seize the moment. Ignorance of the nature of our being. That as spiritual beings, like the wind, we could never be stuck. Think about that. If you know yourself as a spiritual being with infinite capacity, infinite potential, and the whole world to you is a place of infinite possibility, that means there is nothing could stop you from achieving what you need to achieve. That's what being a spiritual being means. Like the wind, adjustable, bendable. He says that believing in duality, good and evil. Sometimes we label good things, evil things, because they don't meet our expectations, right? Hello now. I came looking for butter and there's no butter. I see margarine, that margarine is bad for you. We condemn the margarine. It will do the same thing as the butter does, but you can't have it because they told you it's not organic. It's like, I laugh because growing up in the tropics, most things grew naturally. So coconut trees grow naturally. Ain't no other place for them to grow but in the natural earth. And I see organic coconut water. And I'm saying to myself, where the hell did they grow that coconut tree? Hello now. So I'm saying to you is, that's duality. Coming out of marketing. They told you certain things about yourself that you are good and bad. That things outside of you are good and bad. So good things that look bad to you affect you negatively. But if you believe that wherever you are, there is one presence, one power, and we call that power God, and God means absolute goodness, that wherever I am, there's only good, it's my thinking that colors the good and names it according to my thinking. That's duality. Hello. Failure to listen. Most of us are know-it-alls. So therefore, when that little voice in us talks to us, we say what? Forget you. I know what I'm doing. Then when we make a mess, we say, voice, talk to me. We don't like to listen. The next one is self-proclamation. Hello now. We like to believe we are the chosen one. I am the only one that has a connection to God. So I come in the name of God to you to tell you about your business. You ever met people like that?
Yeah.
No, talk to me.
Yes.
Have you ever met people who know you more than you are seeking to know yourself?
Yes.
And could tell you everything that you need to do? And you have to go to them in order to do something that you need to do and seek permission from them? Hello? I'm talking about you, not to you.
Yes.
Can you identify that in yourself? Because sometimes I know when people like myself speak to you, you only hear what you want to hear. And you say, well, that's not me, that is Janet. That's David. But that's you too. Not the group, not you too. You also. Wasted energy. How many times we let a little speck of dirt run with us for 2 years, carrying on negative, having negative emotions about a little thing. And the way God works is whatever you focus on, it will show up every minute of your life. So wherever you go, you see this little speck of dirt. You get angry, you get upset, hate. All that's wasted energy on what? An emotion in your mind. Because it ain't real. Because other people, when they see that speck of dirt, they pick it up. Oh my God, dirt, you're organic, let me use you. Hello now. Opinions of others. The best of business is to mind your own business, leaving other people's business alone. Hello now. When my neighbor's house has fire, I get a hose and wet my house because I take care of my own business. Hello now. Sometimes we allow what people say of us to decide who we are. Teachers in the past did some damage to some of us. You will never succeed. You are lazy. You could do better. And some of us still believe that. Every child has its own way of coming to learn to appreciate the things that are set before it. Every child. Every child is not meant to be an engineer. So math may not be the strong point. Hello now. The mathematician Can't even blow his nose sometimes, because that is not his gift. Every child is a path that is being taken to the same point that every other life is looking to get to. A place called peace and satisfaction. However we get there, enjoy the ride and don't let anyone tell you what you should be doing with your life. Live your life according to your dream. Ain't no slow child. Ain't no fast child. Those are labels that we put onto children and cause them to suffer sometimes for the rest of their lives. Inflexibility. The unwillingness to move or to change or to adjust. Hello now. Have you ever found yourself in a situation but you're still going on? Hitting your head? There's a wall, but you're hitting your head, believing that the wall will come down. No, do like the wind. You're adjustable. Learn to be flexible. Inflexibility causes you to become stiff, tight. Maybe life is really wasted on the youth, you know. As you get older, sometimes, and you look back and see the times when you could be a little flexible, you have to smile. How ignorant the past was for you when you believed that you were right. It's like my father used to tell me, he said, you should listen to me with my arguments. And then he would say, what you are now, I was. My father was. His father was. I hope that what I am now, you become. Hello now. Yes, man. Learning to realize that what you know today is not the only thing to be known. That your mind should expand. You get it?
Yes.
Are you getting it this morning?
Yes.
You are a creature of change. Change and grow rich. Think and bring abundance to yourself. Stop being the old self. Don't walk around telling people, well, you know, they say that I have changed, but I know I haven't changed in 40 years. Something is wrong and sick with you. If you have not changed, something is wrong with you. Because everything about you is changed. Your body changes every day. Hello now. It's your mind that you need to work with. So buying new clothing is not going to change you unless your mind changes. You know, some people in their closet, they keep their clothing from 40 years hoping that the style will come back. But the interesting thing about fashion, they may bring back the colors, but they would not bring back the length. And when they bring back the length, they lose the colors. Change is in Shrek. Change donkey. I like that line. Change donkey. Don't be stubborn. Change. Learn to appreciate the newness that is constantly around. Seeking satisfaction from the outside. Most of us believe that when we are in trouble, we get a new baby. We buy a new house. We change the car. Change the job. What else do you have that you can change? You change that also. And after 2 days, what happens? The same is like the alcoholic that drinks one drink, feels good, and the next day needs two, and the next day needs three, because it's like the worries and the problems swim over the alcohol and get back to consciousness. Hello there. Satisfaction can only be met by filling inner needs, not with wants, but an adjustment in the mind to realize if it is on the outside, it is really happening on the inside. And the last one is to try to get out of those boxes, cultural boxes that you find yourself in. When God said to Abraham, get you away from your family, that means that's a box full of religious ideas, tribal ideas, political ideas, nationalistic ideas. These are boxes that keep us as dwarves. So we can't appreciate anything that is different from that which is inside the box. If you want to live life abundantly, you've got to move out of these boxes and learn to appreciate yourself outside of the box and that which is surrounding the box. If you're not willing to do that, then you will never find opportunities to grow. Because every day, that's what the universe does. It provides us with opportunities. God bless you.